I'm Stuart McMillen and I've been a cartoonist since 2011. I describe my work as science communication comics. So I draw long form comics about social issues. So the way that they end up being published is a long form comic to my website, and the process that I go under is just reading lots of interesting books and then finding stories that I can tell through my medium of comics. At the moment I've been doing a piece called The Town Without Television, which is actually a long, it's a comic about a town in Canada that didn't have TV reception until the 1970s. So I found this book by the professor who went into this town before they got TV reception, and she decided to do a psychological experiment in the town to show the before and after effects of television on the population. And she wrote it up as a really beautiful experiment here. And I've decided to do a panel by panel comic about the results of this TV experiment. I read a lot of books and I watch a lot of documentaries, and I just try and find interesting experiments or little nuggets from history that I can turn into something that works in my medium. So I tend to look, in this case, I tend to look for well-documented science experiments that I can really turn into a visual comic story. So I have an art studio at Gorman Arts Centres in Braddon, and I've been here for about 4 years now, and it's just really nice having a separate space to working from home, which is what I used to do, that I can come to every day and have as a place where I create my comics. I'm actually sharing with another cartoonist within my studio, and I've got a whole hallway full of other people who are doing all sorts of other arts. The main way that I fund my work is through a crowdfunding campaign on Patreon. The way that it works is I have readers out there who admire my work and like the idea of me in my art studio every day creating my comics on their behalf. So they're happy enough to give me $5 a month or $10 a month, whatever the amount is, to keep me going. And then once every 3 months or so, I send a little gift package with postcards or greeting cards to my supporters, just as a way of closing the loop and maybe even giving them a little insight into what I've been doing. That's the way that I fund my work, but in terms of the way that it works from a practical sense is I'll go through the whole process of researching topics, writing my scripts, and then using my graphics tablet to digitally draw my comics and then publish them to my website through my web hosting platform. The challenges of being an artist mostly comes down to finances. I'm always trying to find the next way to finance things, whether it's an arts grant, whether it's a commission, whether it's getting more people onto my crowdfunding project. So it would be nice if I could know that my finances were totally taken care of and I could totally dedicate my time to doing the craft, but as it stands I still need to put some amount of attention to making sure that I'm drumming up enough finances to keep the show on the road. What I love about being an artist is that I've got a particular way of looking at the world, and I can put my viewpoint out there, and it'll be something that no one else would quite be able to capture in exactly the same way. I think with my work in particular, I've got 3 elements that come together, which is the way that I research topics that are particular to my interests, the particular way that I write the text of my comics, and also the way that I draw and the visual style that I put out there. I think that all 3 of those work as a really unique way, and I like reading my own work as well, so I really like seeing what it looks like when I've taken something from quite a fuzzy idea in my head to something that's the finished product. So I'm looking forward to continuing with this Town Without Television project and then seeing what the next thing over the horizon is.